This video is not clickbait. It really isn't. I was actually surprised when I did the research for this video. But being an audiophile can actually save your life. And it has never been a better time to be an audiophile. And if you're an aspiring audiophile, these are 10, or a veteran audiophile, these are 10 reasons why it's never been a better time to be an audiophile in 2025. Some of these absolutely blew my mind. I didn't know until I researched this video. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, maybe through your new Cheap Audio Man Rocktopus mug, which is linked in the description. And let's talk about 10 reasons why you should become an audiophile in 2025 today, because it could save your life. Number one. Now, we're going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to give the reasons why, little categories, and then in between, we're going to do parts of a category, because one of these categories is so ginormous, it would take me forever to talk about it. But the first one is affordable gear. Of course it's affordable gear. You have products like the Weem Ultra, which is a streamer, which has bass management, an HDMI ARC input, is a preamp, has a phono stage inside, does room correction, EQ, all sorts of crazy stuff, and it comes in at $330. If you look at any other streamers out there, something with that level of features and that type of functionality, it's going to cost like $1,000. And then you have really awesome affordable amplifiers from companies like Fozzy Audio or IEMA that come in around $100 to $150. And then you have awesome affordable speakers like the Cambridge Audio SX50, the NUMI BS5. Anyway, you can get an entire system set up for $350 or $500. And that is insane. And you couldn't do that 3, 4, 5 years ago. But you can do it now. It improves your emotional and physical health. I kid you not. I actually did the research last night, and the list that I came up with is so long that I can't do it in one category. Psychological benefits, stress and anxiety reduction. Music can lower cortisol levels and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation. It's true. Have you ever sat down and listened to your favorite album, maybe something a little bit more relaxing, and just listened to the music with your eyes closed? I would suspect that you probably felt better after you did that than before, especially if you came home from work and you're stressed out. Mood enhancements. Your favorite songs can increase your dopamine levels. So you can reduce cortisol, increase dopamine. And dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter. And this is why a good playlist can turn your day around. Emotional expression and processing. Music provides an outlet for emotions, helping people process complex feelings like sadness or anger. For example, listening to a melancholic song can feel cathartic. Big words when you're down. That's the truth. I remember in high school, I was going through a breakup with my girlfriend, and I listened to Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains, like, constantly, like over and over and over again. And it did help me process the breakup when you're a teenager and you don't do life good for relationships. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. It's right down there. It's super easy. All you have to do is click on it. You can always unsubscribe later. People do it all of the time. Number 3, music services, streaming services are cheap. You have Amazon Music. I think it comes in around $10 a month. You have Tidal, again, $10 a month or so. Apple Music, Spotify, all of them. The point is that they have basically all of the music, or at least most of the music, which means that you can listen to anything from any artist at any time. And if you think about it, if you're my age, I used to spend probably $20 to $30 a month on buying music, just CDs. And that was in the 1980s. You can share your playlist to your buddies, which is really cool. They can make playlists and then send them to you. And you don't have to worry about running over to your local record store to listen to it. You can listen to it literally instantly. That was not possible 5 years ago. That's why 2025 is a great time to be an audiophile, because of streaming services. Number 4, and some may argue with me on this one, but physical media is cheap. In 1987, it cost about $13 to $20 to buy a CD. In 2025, it costs about $10 to buy a CD, a new one. What other thing that we consume or buy has actually gone down in price since the 1980s? Nothing. The CD is recession-proof. Vinyl. Now, some will argue that vinyl is expensive, and it can be. But if we consider inflation and the crazy CD that is the CD is anti-inflation. In 87, a record cost about $8, give or take. And if you do inflation, that $8 is about $22. You can find new records at Walmart or Target for around $20. So the record some records haven't really gone up in price, or they haven't exceeded basically inflation. Even though we perceive records to be expensive now, actually they're pretty much the same price as they were in the 80s. I'm not talking about special pressings or anything like that. I'm just trying to put this in perspective, that we really haven't seen a price increase on vinyl records. It's not like eggs. Wouldn't it be terrible if the vinyl flu happened and vinyl went crazy? They had to cull a bunch of vinyl records? That would be terrible. Being an audiophile is cool again. And why do I say it's cool again? I hate to say it, but it's a little bit retro. It's a little bit hipster even, to have a 2-channel setup in your house. And I know it's cool again because you can go buy a turntable and a bunch of records at Walmart. You can go to Target and buy a turntable and some records. Who would have thought in 2025, when a lot of the people that are alive that consume a lot of music never even knew that physical media exists. They grew up in a time where if they listened to music, it was digitally through maybe their phone or a computer. To think that we've come full circle and that record sales continue to rise, it would be like if all of a sudden Target started selling film cameras outside of like instant cameras. I'm talking about like that you have to load the film in the cameras. That's what that would be like. Let that sink in for a little bit. So it's cool to be into music again, physical music. Who would have thought? There are wonderful audiophile communities out there. I'll plug my Patreon because we have a very active, very healthy, very positive community in my Patreon. It's patreon.com/cheapaudioman. People trade gear, people sell gear, people give away gear to new audiophiles. They talk about all sorts of stuff. They help each other. They're kind of like tech support for each other. There are bad audiophile communities out there that are very negative, and there's good audiophile communities out there that are very positive. And when I was getting into this in the 80s, I had nothing like that. You can connect with like-minded people that have this passion that we have about the hobby. And you don't feel so alone. Pre-internet, I always just kind of felt like I was in a bubble and that nobody really understood my obsession and my passion about the audiophile hobby. Well, now there's hundreds of people that you can talk to, which wasn't always the case. My dad used to tell me, you should golf because you can golf when you're older. And that's kind of my point here. Anybody can be an audiophile. You don't have to be physically healthy. You can be old and non-ambulatory and still enjoy this hobby. It's something that everyone can enjoy at any age, at any health level. Going back to the crazy emotional, psychological, and physical benefits. Improves focus and productivity. Certain types of music, like instrumental or classical, can enhance concentration by drowning out distraction. The Mozart effect suggests that listening to Mozart might temporarily boost spatial reasoning skills, improves memory and cognitive support. This was really interesting. I didn't know this. Familiar tunes can trigger memories, which is why music therapy is used for conditions like Alzheimer's. How cool is that? It also strengthens neural connections, aiding recall and mental sharpness. It's true though, if I listen to a song that I listened to when I was a teenager or even younger, it does trigger memories, kind of like smells. Pain reduction. Music can act as a natural analgesic by distracting from discomfort and stimulating endorphin release. Hospitals sometimes use it to help patients manage chronic pain or recover post-surgery. What? One of the reasons you become an audiophile is for the journey. It's not always the destination. It's kind of the destination, but you have many destinations along the overall journey. Most of us as audiophiles are also gearheads, which means part of us enjoys buying the gear, searching for the gear, researching the gear, almost as much as we like listening to the gear. And that's absolutely fine. There's people that love cars and don't drive them that much. But it doesn't have to be, and it's usually not a buy it and you're done forever. Sometimes it's to the point where we have to pause. We have to make ourselves not want to research something else, like a new DAC, a new turntable, a new amplifier when we get one. Sometimes it's only the journey that we want to be on. However, I don't think you should ever feel bad about it. I think you should enjoy it, because people's tastes change. People maybe get more money and want to upgrade things. People maybe want something that's beautiful, that has VU meters, or a beautiful, gorgeous turntable. Some of the turntables from Michelle are just stunning. They're expensive, of course, but they are stunning. Okay, this one I wasn't really surprised with, but exercise performance.
I have exercised the demon.
Up-tempo music boosts motivation and endurance. I've actually noticed that because I used to do Ironman. I used to do triathlons. And if I had good music going, I could go further, because apparently it killed the pain and released dopamine. And apparently increases adrenaline, distracting from fatigue. Runners, for instance, often report longer sessions with a good beat. Absolutely agree. Better sleep. Soft, slow music before bed can improve sleep quality by calming the nervous system. It's a common tool for insomnia. Immune boosting. Some research suggests that music reduces stress-related suppression of the immune system, potentially increasing immune markers like immunoglobulin A. That's bananas. In 2025, it's never been a better time for audio technology. There's a company called Roon. It's part of Harman now, part of Samsung. It's kind of a music organizational tool, a music discovery tool, and a DSP, or digital signal processing tool. Take all of your digital music that you may have ripped from a CD, you put it on a server, and they do sell affordable servers that you can put your music on. And then it integrates with different streaming services like Tidal or Qobuz, and it offers up discovery tools. You can also drill down. If you like how one record was produced, you click on that producer and it shows a bunch of other albums that they worked on. There's little articles and facts about each band, about each record they made. And fundamentally, it's an audiophile rabbit hole that you can go deep diving in. There's also cool album art. You can put it on an iPad. So it's another way to interact with your music, especially a way to interact with digital music that we don't have CD cases, or we don't have record sleeves. We're not putting a record on the turntable. There's also a bunch of spatial audio things, especially in home theater receivers with Dolby Atmos. There's also a bunch of DSP functionality in DRAC that's in some amplifiers where you can do room correction, which is going to take care of some timing issues. Basically, it's going to make your music sound better. What we can do now with even a modest system and a little bit of technology, which is in the Weem Ultra. Anyway, it's crazy what we have now that we didn't have 5 years ago. And finally, in regards to physical, emotional, mental health, in short, music isn't just enjoyable, it's a powerful tool for mental well-being and physical health. Whether you're unwinding with jazz, pumping up with rock, or reminiscing with oldies, your body and mind are reaping the rewards. What kind of music do you like to listen to most? But seriously, in the comments, tell me, okay, if you need to work out, if you need some energy, what type of music do you listen to? If you're sad, what type of music do you listen to? If you have trouble falling asleep, what type of music do you listen to? And how often do you listen to music without distractions? Like intently listening to music. Very cool. Okay, the last one is... Okay, last one. And I'm taking a bit of a liberty here. I believe that the industry is turning, and audiophile manufacturers of amplifiers, whatever it is, right? Audio products, is going back to the people that are passionate about it. So 20 years ago, of course, there were just companies that sold audio products. There still are. A lot of those have struggled because they just see it as a business opportunity. But there's companies like Emotiva, like Skit, like Gishelli Labs, like Cambridge Audio. Those companies are run by people that are passionate about music and understand the hobby. And when you have independent companies being able to make decisions and leadership that is passionate about the hobby, then we get great products. And we get companies that will support the products, and we also get companies that are making products in a way that will last a longer amount of time, or if there is an issue, they can be repaired. Because people that design those products are audiophiles. Crazy, right? So 2025, there's never been a better time to be an audiophile. If you're just getting started though, and you're on a limited budget, I have a bunch of videos about getting an entire system for under $500 or maybe even $350. I will link that right up here, so please check that out and start your audiophile journey today. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge, listen, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.